Oh, hello dear viewer, and welcome back to the English broadcast of the LPL. We're coming back for some more League of Legends, and in fact, we're coming in for a bit of a hot drop. Now, it's not a pachinki hot drop, it's a little bit like a Malta Power maybe, you know, it's a little bit softer. My name's Richard Pauls Cam. This is Barenta Raz Mohammed. How are you, Barenta Raz Mohammed?
This is the safest hot drop you can actually have.
It's
I don't need a parachute, and I don't need to jump off this ledge. You just get to see the game right behind you, and hopefully you guys have a better experience than I would have.
It's okay, and we're going to bring up the champion select just below you, and I'm going to give you a good 5 seconds to screenshot it before we actually jump off that ledge and get into game res.
Yeah, the most notable one is, of course, the Ari coming in hot for SNG Gaming. As you can see, they already have a lead right on that pot. The one that you technically see quite frequently from Mole is the Vel'Koz.
Yeah.
So Vel'Koz counter-picking towards the Rise, so the team fight's going to be really crucial to see if they get the range, and the Vel'Koz can really fire off using his ultimate. So right in.
And there we go. So yeah, I mean, typically I see a lot of Vel'Koz into more mid-rangey matchups. You think of like a lot of Azirs, but we're going to see it here in today against the Rise.
To keep people up into what's happening, because obviously like 10 minutes into the game,
16.
Well, no, 10 minutes into the game, it was kept at 3-1.
Ah,
so
right.
It's been slow for the last 4 minutes, but a lot of it came off the fact that Hackers ganks in both the solo lanes really were impactful. BLG really couldn't do much about it. And then you just had a lot of action in Fury and Yoon's lane. So that's what you should expect. Triple cleanse coming out of BLG to stop that from both the Rise snare, Camille stun, and the bottom lane, the Shen taunt, and RE. So there's so much just being thrown at BLG. That being said, I guess they have an equal amount of abilities to throw right back at them.
Yeah, they definitely do. I do like the bottom lane though, Ari and Shen, because you got charms and taunts, and like, you know, we had this conversation before. I'm not exactly sure what Shen yells at someone to taunt them on the way past it. You know, he dashes through. But at the same time, you've also got Ari, who very, very different, but achieves a very similar effect. I don't know what Ari necessarily is to charm someone. I mean, naturally, Ari is a very voluptuous champion, so it makes a lot of sense. But she's got to do more than that, I assume, when she activates her E.
I can charm you quite a few times. Every time I wake up in the morning and just look at you, and you're looking good today.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
And it only lasts 3 seconds, because immediately I'd be like, lying.
That's true, yeah, and that's what happened just now.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, and then it's over. Yeah. Imagine if Ari's charm was 3 seconds, that'd be disgusting. Well, either way, again, we're going to have just both teams doing a lot of warding right now on the bottom side of the map. You can see a bit of offensive wards coming out of Suning there, just placing into the shallow parts of BLG's jungle.
Even though BLG has been the one on the back foot recently in the game, their lanes, both mid and bottom lane, have actually been the one that's been shoving out. Bottom lane tower being taken by BLG means that they were very active in getting that down. Now, putting a lot of vision still on the bot side of the map, but making it so they can actually try to either get the dragon that's coming up in 30 seconds or be able to cut in between raptors so they can try to at least threaten for a mid lane dive. Angel's keeping fairly strong there, and he has a teleport as well if anything were to go awry, if he were to get chunked down, so he can still protect the tower. So there's a lot of protective measures there for SNG Gaming, but BLG should at the very least get their 3rd dragon of the game.
Yeah, that is the goal right here. Amazing J is going to be waylaid by Xiao Ao, who missed the briefcase, but he doesn't ever miss a conference call. He's always on time.
100%. Have you seen how thick that phone is? It may not vibrate, but he will hear it.
That's true. It's got to be a Nokia, 100%. I mean, at the same, he doesn't throw the phone, he throws the briefcase. But if you think about it, if that thing's a Nokia, 100% you should throw that one.
What the hell is a Nokia? You mean a Nokia?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're going to go for an engage right here, and here comes the laser, down onto 2, obliterated, disintegrated, and BLG looking for more right now. Amazing J pushing forwards, but dipping and diving in the backlines is Fury. Not going to be enough to take down Road, but Amazing J blocking up the path.
Pushing back in the team fight, so well done in Fury and the back end of it, but it really started off with BLG. Great from Road. Getting the full ulti, W, charming them up. They did not have eyes on Athena, so getting a massive blast off with his ultimate. So great engage to get the team fight victory for BLG.
Yeah, that was a sick laser right there. I mean,
nice.
that's the Vel'Koz dream, you know, because we see a lot of Vel'Kozes. I've seen a lot of Vel'Kozes in my time, but rarely do you get the perfect setup, because usually you don't land your full combo. You're just like, I didn't manage to research them. Laser! And then you get nothing done.
And it's all in the setup here, because they forced SNG Gaming to really respect the dragon takes, making it, you know, forcing them to walk in, challenge for the 3rd dragon, which is a great setup for Vel'Koz. You're sitting in the bush, lying in wait. So the only real way to get a Vel'Koz working is if you can pull the enemies towards him, either towards the dragon or later on as the game goes on, the Baron buff.
Yep. It's always nice when you have your own charmer in the form of Rakan.
There we go.
Would you call Rakan voluptuous?
Depends. Actually, it's so hard with the, you know, I'm just going to assume he has a big booty.
Ah, yes, that's true. He never really turned around, so I won't be able to say, oh, well, we're going to have to turn around from that play, because that was 50% of his HP. Bummer. Jinja on top lane. Man, I had flashbacks of watching Mystic. If it just, in my mind's eye, it's just like Mystic playing Xayah, pushing way too far up in the side lane.
Happens
and
a
that's
lot.
just like burned into my retinas.
Happens a lot. In fact, remember last year with Mystic, on the topic of it, is that they would be able to protect them so frequently. If they need to get to the late game portion of it, he's going to be shoving off in maybe 2 ways more than he should. WE will extend out as a team, so if he ever gets caught out, they'll be there to actually give him a helping hand. Here comes the Shen ultimate.
Stan United in the bottom lane. This is the wrong time to be underneath this tower, Amazing J. It's going to take a while to knock him down, but eventually Mundo and Shen beat him down.
It's been a rough game for Amazing J. Like, before you guys even got an eye to see it, he got pushed out of the top lane just solo versus Xiao, because obviously the first gank that came his way didn't help him out too much. But when Xiao has an advantage on the Mundo, he's willing to pressure it up. Speaking of pressure, looks like BLG is going to respond on the top side.
Oh, indeed, yeah. Jinja was already pushing up there. He's also got his old mate Road with him. But mid lane, response from Suning is also going to be good. It should be a mid lane tower here in trade. And of course, a mid lane versus the top lane, I will take that any day of the week as a trade. And Xiao's even battering down the bottom lane.
Let's take a look at that. I mean, 100%, that is a plus from Suning. Because even losing the top lane is not a problem. Take a look at Rise, just clearing out the entire wave. And they can easily segue themselves into a 1-3-1. I mean, 1-3, you would initially built this composition for a 1-4, and Mundo can join your team.
Yeah.
Or maybe the Rise can join your team. But with how well Xiao is doing in the matchup, just put him up in his own lane. You can constantly look to dive. Shen is, once he has his ultimate, can try for that play again and again. So for Suning Gaming, they technically do not have a wrong answer in this game as long as they play it truly. They can play for the 1-3-1 or just try and team fight.
You definitely can't sleep on Xiao. I remember last split, you know, and his coach was saying he's top 3, and people were like, oh, I don't know about that.
That was
but now
last year
I think,
thing. Yeah,
oh, that was
agreed.
actually 2017, yeah. And since then, Xiao has grown so much. I don't know about that teleport, to be honest. Amazing J always really known not as a laning top laner. I mean, Amazing J brings so many things to a team. He brings like the fact that he's just a 6-team fighter, and just kind of the X factor as well, like in team fights, that he just somehow managed to bring to a team, but it's never been laning based.
Oftentimes picks poor matchups. So if you look at the straight laning phase statistics, it's always been poor from Amazing J. Speaking of that,
well, it's gonna just be a straight off pick here, and Jin Zhao gonna be picking that one up onto Hacker.
That's crucial. Jungle down, you're BLG, you start out Baron immediately. It's on Suning Gaming now to force a fight, get him off this.
Yeah, real unfortunate, it just happened to be the jungler. That was a bit of a scout right there coming in from Suning.
That's 3 people that need, okay, here comes
dodging
Xiao.
out the plasma fission. In comes Fury. That's going to be a lot of damage coming out of that Orb of Deception, but they're pushing back now, BLG. Xiao out under attack, and they're looking for that burst damage, but Mundo is out of there. Again, Fury in the back. Dipping and diving. Xiao pushing forwards once again. It's tanky Mundo. No one can damage him right now. BLG pushed off of the Baron.
That's just an unlucky composition to go up against if you're BLG and you're trying to nail them down. Ari being able to just jump in and out. You try and go on towards Rise, and obviously he has the lockdown of his room prison. And then Xiao has just been having a phenomenal game, so he's just tanky. He has no excuse. You can hit him, sure,
yeah, but
you're not going to be doing that much damage to him. So BLG had a great pick on towards Hacker. Just can't execute on the fight or burn on Baron.
I mean, that's the biggest thing with Mundo when he gets ahead, because the greatest counterplay to Mundo is trying to burst him down at the start of the fight. And that feels like counterintuitive, but essentially he wounds himself. So it's a 6 versus 1, and you want to try and finish off the rest of the health bar. But when you're ahead as Mundo, harder to burst him, A. B, if he's also got his flash up, then he can flash away as he's taking critical damage. Or C, if he's got the stopwatch, which he still has, you're not going to get the burst off. So essentially, Suning are safe for the next 5 minutes or whenever his flash comes up, so they're just good.
And here's the problem. I mean, 2 champions that I despise in the game. I remember, I'd say last split, I was just saying Aatrox and Mundo.
Yep.
You don't have to deal with Aatrox anymore. I understand that he's probably more ridiculous now, but he's going to be on the bench for quite often. He's just going to be banned repeatedly. But with Mundo, it's if you have a lead on Mundo, you really have to, let's say, his team has to be super far behind for you to be comfortable team fighting into him. He has 3 items for himself. One of them is a Warmog. So he can take so much damage. He forces BLG to have to play the game a lot longer. If they can, let's say if they pick him up and he's alone, the press ultimate, he'll be good for about 6 seconds, allows for his team to come in.
Yep.
Allows for such a long time buffer, which is an issue that Mundo has when he has the advantage.
And I really feel like this specific situation is actually like the BLG Achilles heel, you know, because BLG are like the team fighters, the comeback kids, and I think they've really regained that mantle recently. I think they moved away from it for a little bit, but more recently have definitely gone back to it. Great example right here, looking to burst out the Mundo, but this is a full combo, and he's back to full HP, giving plenty of time for Suning to get in position.
Yep.
And in fact, Mundo is just going to town right now. The rest of the team isn't even here yet, and he's still taking everybody out. This is going to be 2 quick kills, another one down onto Road as Angel is coming onto the right-hand side. Amazing J, though, 1 versus 2, doing his own work in the back line. Fury walking away, but trying to get away very slowly. Oh, last auto attack will be enough, as it will be a shadow dash over the wall. Another perfect timing comes through. Angel drops him where he stands, and Amazing J, this is going to be the slow burn right here as Mundo will keep on chasing. Angel barely out of range to take down Amazing J. And Athena, he's body blocking on this Vel'Koz. He's a tiny man to body block, but he's going to do it for his big Cho'Gath.
Got the job done, but Amazing J came up big in that team fight. Right in the middle of the back line, honestly. It was scary to see a Cho'Gath had face-to-face time. The back line, speaking of face-to-face.
Got him.
Doesn't use FaceTime.
You're going to have to fly home, buddy. No recalling for you.
Wiggle on back to your own Nexus. That was insane. I would love to see the replay just based off of Cho'Gath's position.
Sure he wins this. Oh.
No, you got it. You got it.
He's fine.
Because I felt like it was a great team fight setting for Suning Gaming, even though Shao got caught. We already talked about how annoying Mundo is in this situation. He even has the stopwatch, so he gets the full HP back unaffected, unafflicted. So Suning Gaming turned this on them. But then the Cho'Gath comes into this fight. And so I'm wondering, you can already see Amazing J charging in right in front, FLICKR of course, Fury. Being able to eliminate them from the get-go means that they don't get their second rotation on their spells, and they can't help out in any way, shape, or form. So BLG come out much better for it.
Yeah, the funny thing was I called that Road had died, but in fact it was just a Cho'Gath on top of him. So I couldn't see Road, and I was like, well, surely he's dead. But he was his entire model was behind a Cho'Gath, so wonderful.
It's always fun to see just your AD carry stand on top of the Cho'Gath and challenge the enemy team to be like,
try and click me.
Yeah, click properly. Maybe you'll win this team fight.
Yeah. You know,
you won't.
I actually think one of a rune should actually be like priority targeting on like a lower HP target.
Oh my God.
That would be like a direct counter to Cho'Gath.
You know, it would be a great, and I know we have these moments.
Yep.
A great champion idea, like an ability.
Okay.
An ultimate called Confusion. I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy, obviously. So when you're afflicted by confusion, press, let's say, Road, but now you're moving towards Jin Zhao.
And then maybe Road wouldn't have just gotten that perfect ultimate onto Mundo once again. This is the burst that they needed to take down the tank on the front line. And now BLG can go back towards the Baron. Oh, Hacker, he's actually looking a bit confused right now. He'll jump away.
I'm surprised BLG's running from this. They can just go straight back towards the Baron, knowing that they actually have such a lead, such an advantage in the team fight, knowing that Shao is no longer there. This is taking a long time. I understood that they wanted to go back mid so they get the mid lane priority, but be okay with trading. If Suning Gaming try to trade mid lane tower for this Baron, be fine with that.
Road, he's playing bodyguard right now. But Yoon's pushing up, he's just trying to get in range, allow access for Hacker to jump in if they comes down to a smite scenario. But again, there's a Cho'Gath here. Taking J down to half. Mianhua is not actually the one tanking this Baron. Down to 20%, and he goes Yoon. And Hacker tries to put the down towards the Baron. Now he's actually trying to focus it out. Complete disaster in the execution there from Suning. It's going to be Baron down to BLG. Here comes Xiao, though. He's back from the dead. He's ready for more, but he's about to be rooted. BLG trying to return the damage, but they don't have the burst right here, so Mundo will continue to push into them. Looking for the kill onto Amazing J. Xiao will not stop. He is relentless right now as he gets that kill. Jin Zhao's damage is starting to mount up, and Cho'Gath, he's a little Cho'Gath now. He gets put down.
At least Athena and Jin Zhao can go back to base with the Baron on top of their heads, but that was really sketchy. The fact that Amazing J actually got stunned out for so long, CC chained when he was trying to get the ultimate on the Baron buff itself. I want to see how low it was in HP, because that could have very easily been stolen by SNG Gaming.
About 1,000 HP.
Let's take a look at this, because we were riding that line. They had to burn it now because teleport was in the right. 144 HP before it was taken. That was up for the pickings for anybody that wanted to get the last hit. With a Cho'Gath team, the Smite as well, that's upsetting to see how close it got. But BLG got the job done, and sure, they lost the fight immediately afterwards because Xiao came in. 2 members still have Baron on top of their head, so BLG now can come back onto the map and can try and pressure for a mid lane tower.
Yeah, it was unfortunate because I understood what Hacker was looking for there. He was trying to get the Precision Protocol true damage into his Smite, which is actually a pretty good amount of burst. But he dropped it to 1,000 HP and was like, well, I can't Smite. And then all the burst damage came in incrementally from BLG, and then it was just a 50-50.
That's when you're trying to search too much for protection. I mean, perfection. Because in this situation, you don't have to do that because Cho'Gath is all you really need. The Cho'Gath ultimate, the Smite, is all you got. But if you're trying to line every damage up at the same time, you're overdoing it. You're trying to overkill at that point.
So, in the end, it's the victors who really write the story. It's how they write history, and BLG are the ones with the Baron. They're about to knock down the tower in the mid lane.
It could be a flank here. Hacker's very squishy. He might go for this, but he doesn't have a long time to play. Unless if he's just taking out the minion wave.
It might be the minions, but I mean, the minion wave is still pretty big right here.
Here we
Fury's
go.
doing what he can to zone him away. Jinjiao's going to take a lot of damage from this, and the shout out is so tanky right now. Goggles has been popped. Laser comes through onto you, and he's going to drop. It's a 1-for-1 trade. The shout out is just unstoppable. No one can kill this Mundo, and he's grinding them down, opening up Fury to deal all the damage he wants. Oh! They walked into the Orb of Deception. They get dropped right here. Now a 2 versus 2. Jinjiao comes up big, takes out 1. 2 versus 1 as Angel looking for the round warp. It's just a bait though, just a substitute as Jinjiao is chasing him out on the Xayah. Thumbs up, triple kill.
Just got off the ace, so it probably wasn't even intentional. You know, gets the thumbs up because it's automated for the ace, but well done for both Athena and Jinjiao right behind their tanks. Cho'Gath did a lot of value behind him. That was incredible to see from BLG, where honestly, SNG Gaming had real reason to take that fight. That was looking very good based off the charm alone. Because of the flank, Hacker was just waiting for this. Jinjiao, almost 100 to 0. That was 80% of Jinjiao HP, and he was just life-stealing it up. So that took a long time. But thankfully, the Vel'Koz ultimate really bought the time that he needed. Already at 100 HP, and no one's even touching him. So the fight turned against SNG Gaming right quick.
It really did, but right here, the flash into the orb right there, the return picks up 2 kills off the true damage. And right there, I was like, oh, actually, maybe. But then the crit came through from Jinjiao, and obviously that was just the end of that.
Remember the back end of that's true damage, so no tank should walk up to that thinking, I could take it. Yeah, I could take a bullet. No, you can't.
No, literally no one can take that true damage bullet. That's a silver bullet right there.
Yeah,
doesn't matter
Al Pacino
what creature
take it,
you are.
can.
No, 100% dead. But regardless, BLG were the victors of that fight. They could have walked away with 4 people still alive in that fight, I might add, if they didn't flash into that. And may have ended the game, but still, 4 dragons over to them, 2 of which are going to be Infernals. Plus they have, no Baron is actually just worn off, but they still have cracked open the base in the mid lane and now looking towards the bottom lane as well. This should be an easy take, though.
I don't
Hacker,
think so.
He's hovering like a vulture.
The issue about this tower take is that coming in, of course, front to back, lost that massive wave. They were just trying to ride the wave and see where it goes. There's a lot of wave clear coming from SNG Gaming. Ryze and Ahri will do that. So they recognize they're staying here just because the mid lane wave is coming through. So in their point of view, I think they should have had somebody come through and push, made a little bit quicker, made the process a lot faster. But at the end of the day, here we go. This should be the one.
Yeah, someone who could fast rotate at least to the bottom lane and keep this one up, because really just trying to buy time if you're Suning. Inhibit's going to be up in 3 minutes right here.
Oh, the next one should be real fun. Take a look at this. Fury is in the top side of the map. This should be 100% dive.
Yeah, this is real bad actually for Suning. This tower is just straight up dead. Chow out once into this fight, but it's been proven last time in a long fight that eventually Jinjiao's damage will catch up to them. Now finally, Fury is back to the bottom lane, but they've lost 2 towers in the process, and BLG haven't really done anything. They've just stayed in the bottom lane and just pushed in, and it's really just letting Suning squirm and basically just kill themselves.
But Amazing J is feeling himself, and this is one of those games, super tanky. He had a rough time of things in the early game, but after a few teamfight victories, he's able to scale up, ultimates on minions and all that, so he's actually at a pretty massive state. He just walks up, he doesn't care. damage taken percentage is something that he knows very well. So that's the stat that he usually excels in. So if he plays a tank, he's walking in.
I mean, he's the new Mundo. He's new hotness now.
That's true.
He can walk up and no one's really going to kill him in a hurry. That's not to say Mundo isn't still super tanky, but really a lot of that comes out from the gargoyles at the start of the fight. Looking towards his own 6th item, 3, 2, and 7 in this game. But yeah, BLG made a lot of work happen. 2 inhibitors down now for themselves at 35 minutes.
And this is the problem that I would say both top laners here, both Cho'Gath and Mundo find themselves in. If you are in a winning composition, it is so easy to just walk up to them and really force them off of every objective. If you're in the losing side of things, you don't have any engage here. Cho'Gath, sure, if you can land in a queue, it's very non-committal. It means that the rest of your team has to walk up. But if you're a Mundo especially, you're just walking up. Sure, you're taking a lot of damage, but the team fight's still not going to be a victory. Look at BLG's composition. Trundle, Rakan. You can even throw in the Xayah and the Vel'Koz amazing kite back. So Mundo's having a rough time. They have a large HP pool, but they're not getting anything out of it.
Yeah, not right now. I mean, it looked great when they were being able to be on the aggressive, yeah. And especially around mid-game when you just simply don't have the damage to deal with a Mundo. But eventually, especially when you have a crit AD carry, that will start to catch up with you as the game goes on. And definitely saw that in the last team fight for sure. Yeah,
I would say Cho'Gath and Mundo are great snowballing tanks. If they find themselves with a lead, they can just get a lot of value based off the tanking. It makes it seem like any team fight you take against them is impossible when you have a lead.
Yeah, I mean, I still remember, was it Mouse on that Mundo pick? 1v4.
Oh my god.
Literal 1v4 on the top side of the map. And
it's obnoxious.
Like, it really, I mean, it's like Mouse got paid back for the 18 fucking, Mundo games that he's played. He's just played way too many Mundo games at this point. But Suning Gaming pushing up to the Baron Road. Again, he's zoning. I mean, if he hits 4 people with his ultimate, this could be a great setup to Athena's ultimate once again.
Issue here is Angel is made to recognize it. That would be a great flank place if he was not half HP. If the Ryze wasn't in a position to get absolutely blasted by the Vel'Koz alone, then he would have stayed there.
A lot of respect being here, but I say respect, but also BLG are looking at the fact they have super minions knocking on the front door.
They should just start on it.
Yeah. Really just put them in this vice situation. Yeah, the recall coming through now from Suning.
They should be in a much better position if they get challenged on this Baron. Remember, the Cho'Gath is still there. Great execute on his ultimate. Last Baron take wasn't the easiest, but there we go. Easy job, no one challenged.
There you go. Go back to base. Set up for the final push. I mean, there's still an inner tower actually in the top lane, so you got to deal with that one first. But still, BLG in a fantastic situation. This is a second Baron as well.
Yeah, and I'm going to take a step back a bit for the people out there trying to figure out what the stakes are for this game. Remember, Suning Gaming are locked into 4th place in the playoffs. Meanwhile, BLG are just locked out of the playoffs. For both of these teams, I would say it's just about pride here. For Suning Gaming, obviously, they have something to play for in the long run. They want to have a perfect game here because remember, while they are locked into the playoffs, they're a team that got no points in Spring Split, no circuit points at all. And with how the points have been distributed, we'll have a discussion about this as the day goes on, they need to have a great playoff, so they need to be disciplined.
Yeah, 100%, and BLG are the ones who are currently giving it to them. Bit of a flirt with a team fight, but they're not going to go all in on this one. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, Suning, if they want to make the run, they have to go all the way.
Yes.
Yeah, they can't get to a point and it's like, well, we've got the points to go. Maybe get ourselves a world seed. No, they've got to go all the way.
Yeah, remember, 5 is the special number here. 3 teams go to Worlds, but 5 in the sense that if 2 teams end up going by points or winning Summer Split, then you have 3 teams that are now going into the regional tournament. 3 teams. Oh, here we go. Here comes a possible.
Oh,
yeah, get out of there.
That was, yeah, I didn't know what I was going to get there, to be honest. I got 2 minions and a hacker.
I was ready for it. I was so prepared.
BLG didn't even know it was arriving.
It's kind of like when Twisted Fate just ultis right on top of 5 people, then he presses Zonya so no one shows up. I was expecting no one to show up, because no one should show up in that situation.
But it's also like a committal of resources. Like, how much do you place down? You know, how many people were taking this realm warp? And then maybe that's the time for Suning to strike. I don't know. That could be the master plan, the modern day Messiah. Oh,
I was prepared.
I was too. But Suning is going to drop the inhib right here and actually look for the engage. Oh, right into the disintegration laser. 2 instant kills to BLG. A third goes over to Jin Zhao. The Vel'Koz was massive in that final team fight. I could barely call it a fight. It was just BLG beating down on Suning Gaming, and they'll take out the Nexus in 40 minutes.
That was the fastest I've ever seen a Mundo get blown up. That was a blob of BLG. I wouldn't even call it a 5 people walking down.
Oh yeah, he's a jelly right now on the floor.
It definitely
Pulverized.
looked like Suning Gaming were playing pure Protoss. They were just grouping up. Anybody that would challenge them would say, okay, you're getting bitten by the Cho'Gath, and you're getting locked down by the Rakan. So clean finish to the game by BLG.
Nice in the end, and again, as you said, locked out from playoffs, and obviously it's a tough year once again for Amazing J. He's always the guy who wants to make the run, but also gives time for BLG to try out their sub roster. You get to see Athena once again in the mid lane, Mianhua in the jungle, and they can still make magic happen.
And so all of this is you can look towards, like, what the hell actually happened in that gold graph. It's around Dragon. Suning Gaming had a pretty good time at things, early kills, but remember BLG's both mid lane and bottom lane were still shoving really early on in the game. And so around Dragon fights, because they need to start contesting BLG's Dragon, even though BLG didn't have the lead at that point, the Vel'Koz is able to do it. You lock them down with the Rakan. Excellent game from Road. Then you blast them with the Vel'Koz. So I think if you're going to take away one pick going into game 2, it has to be the Rakan.
Oh yeah, I mean, generally when you look at the setups and combos like this, you're looking at the person who is setting up the other person, right? Like Vel'Koz is not really an issue if you can just walk out of the way of his, his tectonic disruption, because that's the thing with Vel'Koz. So often you see him without proper setup, and it's like, well, this sucks, like he just dies by himself in the back line. But really, Rakan was landing multi-man quicknesses every single time that one was up.
Yes, and I think that BLG had a really smart game to really force them towards the Dragon, so it became that Vel'Koz is a major priority. But remember, Vel'Koz was getting bullied out really early on in the game because of the ganks from Camille. So the strategy was there. Felt like the strategy of just all ending on the back line was definitely alive for Suning Gaming. Just came to the fact when you have no vision. That things go haywire, and I felt like that was definitely the case in that one.
That definitely was. Let's take a look at another one of those team fights. In fact, we have the mid lane team fight here lined up for you, and there definitely was. There definitely was.
I love this one.
This is the one.
This should have been the immediate win from Suning Gaming, but I would take a look at the timing of when FLICKR actually went in, because that gave a lot of time for Jin Zhao to really heal up. Because Fury comes in, gets the charm off. The team didn't even expect how much HP Jin Zhao would lose on that one. Had FLICKR gone in immediately, had the Shen ultimate had really followed in immediately as it happened, then perfect, you'd clear the AD carry. You can have a run to back a little bit more honestly, but Jin Zhao is still able to output a lot of DPS as the fight progresses.
Yeah, we didn't get to see how much damage he dealt at the end of that fight, but you can bet it was a hell of a lot, because he lasted until the very end of the fight. Then it had 2 1v1s at the end and just basically killed them from Volt. So again, great stuff coming out from Jin Zhao, but also the team there to protect him. I think that a lot of them, they went with the tactic of throwing their bodies at the enemy so they didn't kill their AD carry instead, which I respect. I mean, 2 people died for it, but again, your AD carry survived, you won the team fight, you took mid inhib. So again, BLG, team fighting, name more iconic duo. I mean, that's just really their MO, and it always has been. But if you're looking for Suning, you're absolutely right. We want to see cleaner games, cleaner team fights. I mean, to be honest, I don't know if we should have even gotten to that point in the first place when you have a Mundo who is that ridiculously far ahead.
There are a lot of ways you can do it. Remember when they were start trading objectives that they had 2 options of either just grouping up mid or trading on sides. They ended up trading sides, so Rise was on the top lane. They had taken the mid lane turret immediately. What Suning Gaming could have done, should have done, just put themselves in a 1-3-1 immediately. Sure, give BLG a next Dragon, but you'd say, okay, well, we threaten the top lane inner tower. We've actually pushed out the mid lane wave, so after you've taken Dragon, you can come and contest us, but by then, you would already have gone off with the goal that we've accrued. These weren't incredibly strong Dragons, and sure, you stacked up that much that the next Elder Dragon would have been beneficial, but you would have just called them out and saying that by that time, we'd have so much gold in our pockets by the time the Elder Dragon actually becomes a thing, we would have this setup for it.
Yeah, 100%. But again, I mean, BLG just managed to beat them to the punch every single time, right? I mean, it was an issue around the mid game where it's just like, well, we can't kill the Mundo, so that's kind of an issue. But then once you got past that point, and then you essentially had your own Mundo, his name was Cho'Gath, then it was okay, because then you were ahead and you couldn't kill the Cho'Gath. So we are going to announce our MVP, and that's going to be Road.
There we go.
Congratulations to Road. He was definitely all of the setup that the team needed. A astonishing 4.9% on the damage dealt. But of course, that's not what we look at when we're looking at the support, looking at his plays.
88% kill participation. When it comes to Road, you'd expect that and higher, just because they're a team that really takes it back in the early game, and they try and find a lot of their plays as the game goes on, as they're grouping up as 5. That's the case in this one. Major shot caller for the team, of course. So natural that he ends up picking it up with that high of a kill participation.
Yeah, third MVP for him as well. Sometimes I feel like probably just gets outshone by the massive things that we've seen from Mole and probably Chieftain that we've seen over the split. It's just like them just accruing kills. Mole gets big and then he just blasts people in Zoe or something like that. So it's nice to see that Road actually gets some love right there, and he will be a major part of the managed to take this series. For now though, we're going to take a short break. When we get back, we'll be here with our second game.
我们的目标是再次突出重围，哔哩哔哩干杯！